everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins. This is my good buddy Brandon, and welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're finding us for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content right here on this channel. And tonight we're going to be doing a spoiler review for Space Jam: A New Legacy starring LeBron James that is now playing in theaters and on HBO Max. So if you've not seen the movie yet, please check out now and come back after you've watched it. We're going to get into all the spoilery details. So with that being said and that warning down, Brandon, as you enjoy your popsicle here, what did you think about the movie? First impressions.
Okay. First thing is, it's a movie for kids.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not meant for a 37-year-old man.
Right.
I get that. That being said, though, honestly, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I laughed at stuff that was supposed to be laughed at. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I thought it was, all in all, good movie to watch, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't upset with too much stuff in it. Although, you know, there were some things that drove me crazy, but again, it wasn't for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wasn't its target audience.
Of course. So, yeah. I mean, but even me as a 39-year-old man, I mean, we're all dating ourselves here, so why not? But I did not think it was as terrible as it was going to be. So I mean, it's not. I'm not the target demographic, much like Brandon. But when I saw the trailer to this thing, I know we kind of did a trailer reaction, I think, as a group with the Fat Boy Cartel podcast. So you can find that here on the channel. New episode up today as well when you're watching this. Yeah, when that trailer came out, I was like, okay, that looks like a giant commercial for HBOMax and all the Warner Brothers properties. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of that in this movie. They were definitely throwing all their properties in your face, from The Matrix to The Flintstones to The Jetsons,
Harry
Potter, DC, Lord of the Rings was in there a little bit, all the above.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, absolutely, Game of Thrones too. I mean, it was all in there. And it was basically, especially in the Matrix portions, it was almost like, hey, come back for HBO Max in December. We got a new Matrix movie coming. But, you know, there's a lot of that, obviously, which I understand. They're trying to, and it was kind of cool. They really didn't play a huge role in the movie. There was a lot of Looney Tunes who were like playing certain characters from certain franchises when they were trying to recruit the team. So I thought that was kind of creative. But other than that, they really didn't use those movies for anything like gratuitous. So I thought they were mostly just in the crowd during the game. So in the background with little cameo appearances from different characters and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. I thought LeBron himself, not the biggest LeBron James fan myself personally in real life. We'll just get that out the way now. I think Michael Jordan is definitely the better player, all around greatest of all time discussion, whatever you want to say. However, from an acting standpoint, I didn't think LeBron was terrible. Not the greatest thespian in the world, clearly.
No, but he wasn't bad.
No.
Like, that's the thing. Like, was it Oscar worthy? No.
Nobody's thinking that.
But he wasn't bad. He was what Michael Jordan was at the time.
Pretty much, yeah. The only difference here was LeBron was playing this thing up where, especially in the beginning of this movie, he's a hard-nosed, focused on the job type of basketball player, and he wanted the same out of his kids. So I knew within the first 5 minutes, the story they were going to tell was, all right, by the end of this movie, he's going to have to learn to have fun again. And that's exactly what happened.
You could tell, but in saying that too, if you go back to the first Space Jam, it was something along the same lines with Michael Jordan.
A little, yeah.
Like, he went through this journey to where the end of the outcome was he had to realize, you know where he was,
accepting who he was too, because he was trying to play baseball.
Who he was, and that's what the whole story was about. So in this aspect of it, it makes. I mean, but LeBron, it's more relatable in a sense because as a parent myself, you want your kids to focus, and you may lose sight of what they actually focus on and what drives them because, it's not like you want them to be or emulate you to a full extent, but when you're in a certain position and your kids show interest in that position that you are in, right? As a default, you're like, okay, well then I'm just going to push you further like I was pushed. So I focused, and this is how I did it. You lose sight of, as a parent, when you have that kind of drive mentality, that yes, your kid may want to follow in your footsteps, but you have to let them get their own path to
Right.
get there.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, it was, yeah, I would love to do this, but that's not what I'm truly passionate about. And then, but the interest that I have in it, the way that you're pushing me away from that interest.
Right, because he's trying to push him so hard to be good at basketball, like like LeBron is, that he is inadvertently making the kid not want to do it anymore. So,
Yeah.
it's I like the dynamic because in the first Space Jam, Michael Jordan's kids weren't really like that. I mean, they weren't really
weren't
involved
really
too much.
part of it. No.
Yeah,
no.
but I mean, you're right. Then the fact that Michael Jordan had to kind of come to that realization.
It was Michael Jordan realizing, his role in life or his position.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, it was more LeBron realizing that his kid, who may be good at basketball, has another interest that he's really good at, but the fact that he didn't take time to realize it until it was too late.
Right, right. I mean, and of course, by the end of the movie, LeBron does, notice that he's in the wrong, and he makes amends with his kid. And of course, the interest his kid had was building video games, which was
dope,
which was cool because he also built a basketball game. So he's taken both of his loves and put them together. And of course, the main game of this whole movie was centered around that video game that the kid created. That LeBron had to actually physically play the game his son made. So there was a lot of things in there that LeBron didn't know how to do because he wasn't a video game guy. So it makes some sense. So I like the narrative they were telling there. So at least in that regard, I thought they did a pretty good job.
Not only that, though, it was that when the kid even introduced him to that, LeBron barely paid enough attention to understand it.
He played it a little bit, but then it glitched. He kind of moved on a little bit. But the glitch came into play later in the movie, which I thought was really cool. Now the only problem I had with that, which the character who glitched in his game got erased completely. So the character later on who sacrifices himself to get glitched is, of course, Bugs Bunny. It was going to be LeBron, but Bugs kind of stole it because he didn't want LeBron to, lose out being with his son or whatever. But then when Bugs glitched and basically got erased, he was just back again in the next scene in real life with LeBron. So it was like so how did that happen? He said,
he can't kill a dude.
Yeah, he couldn't be killed. So they did play that earlier on when a bus he was driving went over a cliff, and I guess the line was there like, "Hey, I'm a dude, I can't be killed." So I guess they did kind of cover it there, but it was a little convenient, but it was there. It was okay. They explained it enough, but. The other thing about LeBron, before we get in a little bit more about the Toon stuff, really, I thought was that I liked the fact, first of all, they played on the tease of Michael Jordan. They brought in Michael B. Jordan because I think, what was it, Daffy? Or who? I think it was Daffy.
No, it was Porky. It was Sylvester.
Sylvester brought in who he thought was Michael Jordan in the crowd at the game at halftime. But then Michael B. Jordan walks in instead. And, of course, it's like, well, you got a Michael Jordan, but not the Michael Jordan.
So when he said it, and then they did the music from the original movie, and he's walking, and then somebody says, I can hear his footsteps.
Yeah.
And once it showed the silhouette, before they reveal, I said, it's Michael B. Jordan.
I didn't quite know, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, of course. When
he said it, when he said it, I was like, there's no fucking way Michael made a cameo in this movie.
Right. Well, to be honest, I was still expecting him to maybe make the cameo, but as maybe the owner of the Toon Squad. Because he is an owner or a chairman of the Charlotte Hornets right now. So it would kind of make some sense if he maybe made a couple minutes appearance to show up, but not to be, unfortunately. He was not in this film. But
I died, though.
I thought it was clever to bring in Michael B. Jordan, so that was awesome. The other thing about the LeBron character that I thought was interesting, they made numerous references, especially from like Bugs Bunny and all the other tunes, were bringing up the fact, and I think even Don Cheadle's character mentioned it once, which, by the way, Algae Rhythm. That was clever because he was the algorithm of Warner Brothers Network. But anyhow, the fact that they kept making fun of LeBron, but like what? There was no more teams to go to? Or they were being very meta with the whole idea that LeBron kept going to other teams to win championships. So that was clever. It made light of the fact, and LeBron took it in stride and had fun with it. So very good in that regard. So I had no problem with that. As for go ahead.
Did you hear? Okay, you seen the two commentators, right? One is an actual basketball analyst.
Yeah, I didn't know who the other guy was.
Is Howie Rail or Little Rail? He's a comedian. He's also in the Free Guy movie. He plays.
Okay.
He plays the security guard. He plays the best friend of Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, when they're on the ground, maybe is that who? Like,
Yeah,
when they were told to get down. Okay.
He's that. That's who that is.
Okay.
So when LeBron hits the force field, he says he has a line where he says, "I know all about that." One of the trailers, I believe, it's him running into a force field.
It might be.
In
Yeah.
Free Guy, and he says something about, "Oh, I know all about that."
I didn't catch that. That's a good call if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, and of course, Free Guy was made by Fox, not Waters. But notwithstanding the actor, that was a good, clever line if that's the case to kind of promote the upcoming film. But yeah, I didn't catch that at all. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he said I laughed at that part. I was like, "Oh, I see what he did there."
I mean, when it comes to the tunes, outside of the negatives I have is obviously we know Pepe Le Pew for some other outside reasons. The changing of Lola Bunny a little bit. Now, another thing about Lola Bunny, I did not think it was necessary to have Zendaya voice her, because really, outside of her name in the opening credits,
voice lines.
Yeah, that too. Plus, you could have had anybody voice the character, and it wouldn't have really mattered. But now, granted, a lot of A-list actors and things like that voice many characters in animated films all the time. It's not a big shock, but I just thought that was interesting. They threw her in there, even though. It's
he
no
didn't
point.
really.
He didn't really need it.
Voice line. No, she wasn't really on screen that much either.
Yeah,
I mean, aside from like some of the basketball stuff, but like I said, she didn't really talk that much.
Mm-hmm. Now, I did kind of like now this was in a trailer too, where LeBron went for a dunk, I believe toward the end of the game, and you see Lola kind of do this thing. It's a direct homage to Dwayne Wade doing that in one of the NBA finals. So that was clever. They had little moments like that they were sprinkling in. I thought all the other tunes were great. Obviously, you get the Bugs and Daffy and Roadrunner.
Monstars show up.
The Monstars from the first film, obviously without the powers now. We're in the crowd. I thought that was clever. A lot of good stuff with Granny, or the Tweety's grandmother, the old lady who has Tweety. I thought that was cool. But yeah, there was a lot of good tune stuff in here. They even did a little upgrade on the designs for the tunes for the game portion of the movie. Went back to 2D a little bit toward the end. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I had a good time with it for a kids movie. Would it be something I'd probably pay for going to a theater? Probably not, unless, of course, I would now just because I review movies here on the channel. But other than that, I probably would not. But being it was on HBOMax, I thought it was kind of fun. But any other thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I watched it. I enjoyed it.
Tell everybody what your wife said.
Oh, she goes. So me and her, we watched the whole movie, and she goes, "Man, I really wish I didn't like LeBron because it wasn't a bad movie."
Or wish she did like LeBron.
Wish I did like LeBron.
Yeah. She's going to get you if you don't correct that. But yeah, well, that's the thing. LeBron has, granted, he's got his fans. And I'm sure if you're a fan of him, more power to you. There's just some people he kind of rubs the wrong way, unfortunately. But
doesn't like him.
Yeah, but that notwithstanding, if you're just taking this movie alone, I think he did a fair enough job. But before we get out of here, I do want to pitch a couple things to Warner Brothers or whoever, if they were to make another Space Jam movie. I know for a long time they had multiple different ideas. One involving Tony Hawk and I think it was Skate Jam, and then they were going to do one with I think Tiger Woods Golf Jam or something like that. If they were to ever continue this franchise, I don't know if they will or not, because it got some negative reviews for the most part. I can understand why, but at the same time, if you're going to do more, I got two suggestions. One, make an NFL version of this, football. I don't know what you necessarily call the title, but unfortunately, I'm not his biggest fan, but most likely the ideal candidate would be Tom Brady. Use him and take the football route with this.
Man,
and yeah,
a bunch of quarterbacks
like I heard one person pitch
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, bring in other players. Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, all these greats and legends, and even some current stars would be great as well. Kind of like what they did in the first Space Jam. This movie didn't really have a whole lot of the current NBA players.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a negative.
Yeah, they did.
They had a couple, but it wasn't very many. Not like the first film.
No, they were part of the Goon Squad. I mean, Anthony Davis. Crap, I can't remember who the hot wet fire was.
I must have missed that. I caught Anthony Davis, but yeah, the time
dude. And then there's two WNBA stars.
Okay, so that's I didn't recognize them. I just thought maybe they were just actresses. But even better.
Current basketball stars in there.
Okay, well, good.
Because LeBron even said something about Anthony Davis's eyebrows. He said it's time for him to separate. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's not bad. But yeah, so yeah, definitely do the NFL version. I don't know what you call it, like space touchdowns or something. I don't know what you call it. But this one I want to see. Do a wrestling version of this. We're wrestling fans here on the channel.
Hilarious.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and you do Space Slam. That's the way you do this. And you bring in current and former wrestlers. Unfortunately, a lot of the big name,
not Hulk Hogan though.
No, but unfortunately, a lot of the big name legends are sadly no longer with us. But I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at least would be pretty entertaining. And in Tom Brady's case, I heard one guy pitch it like maybe Don Cheadle or whoever the villain is have stolen all of Tom Brady's Super Bowl trophies, and he needs to come in to win this game to get them all back. I thought that would be kind of clever. But yeah, so that's just my pitch to the studio if they ever have a chance to do that. So hope you guys are watching. But with that being said, I guess that'll do it for our Space Jam review. What would you rate it out of 10 stars? Just out of curiosity.
I'll give it a solid 7.
7. I'd probably go 6.5, 7, probably somewhere in there too. Maybe 6. I mean, I wouldn't.
It wasn't. Like I said, it wasn't great.
No,
like said, it wasn't marketed for me. So,
but if you have a family of kids and things like that, and if you just like a good old time, Looney Tunes comedy, it's definitely got that in spades. So I hope everybody will at least give this a chance. Check it out on their own. Don't listen to critics. I mean, granted, that's kind of what we do here on this channel a little bit. We critique stuff, but at the same time, make your own opinions and check it out for yourself and find out then. So with that being said, we're going to get out of here. So if you like this video and you like this review, and comment down below, let us know what you guys think about the Space Jam A New Legacy, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content right here on this channel. And until our next video, guys, take care.
Yeah, ready to go, man.